Roanoke City Public Schools is really happy and proud to have a partnership with VH-1 Save the Music Foundation, and Jacqueline Rutterow, who has come all the way from New York to Roanoke City Schools for another visit. I know you've been here many times, to make a special announcement, and we'll get to that in a moment. But for those folks who may not be familiar with VH-1 Save the Music Foundation, why don't you give us an overview? What is your main mission?
So VH-1 Save the Music Foundation is a nonprofit organization that is dedicated to restoring instrumental music programs across the country, ensuring that every child has equity and access to a complete education that includes music. And we work district by district, require a top-down commitment from the superintendent and school board, really to look at the district as a whole and where the needs are. We focus in on the elementary and middle school levels where they do not have instrumental music programs in place. Require the district hires a certified music teacher to teach the program as part of the school day, and each school then applies and receives a grant of $30,000 worth of new musical instruments, and we work with the district really on a partnership basis for several years, depends on the size of the district. Here in Roanoke we've been working since 2009, so it's been a few years. There's 17 elementaries here that we're focusing in on, really until every school has a grant and every child is able to play an instrument.
And as you said, you've been here now about almost 5 years. How is it going? What are you seeing every time you come back compared to when you started to what you see now?
It's been amazing to see the growth and the investment and how music, because it's becoming more of a cultural and core part of each school in Roanoke. It's now transferring into the high schools where the programs are growing because the students who started on violin, say in 5th grade, at one of our, like at Fairview Elementary School, are now on the orchestra program in 9th, 10th grade. And you know, that's what we hope to see everywhere, that music, you know, we give the tools, we give the instruments, and when the district commits and hires the teachers and you have support from the administration, it really can transform a school district.
And you've currently in 12 of our elementary schools, you've spent well over $350,000 in those years. You're expanding to every elementary school. Is your, I guess, your mission coming to an end in Roanoke, or in some ways is it just beginning?
Well, it's sort of both, because next year we will be, for the 14-15 school year, should make the announcement now?
Sure, that's fine.
We're going to be completing our rebuild here by giving 5 grants next year. It's the first time we've ever been able to give that many in Roanoke. Wow. And it'll be $150,000 worth of instruments to all 5 remaining elementary schools that are still eligible for grants. And so with that, we'll know that every child has equity and access to music education, and then we'll be following up year after year, of course, to see the progress of what's been going on. But in terms of grants, we're so excited to be able to finish, and really, you know, those kids that are still at the schools that don't have band or orchestra now will finally have the chance. So. And
I'm assuming you've been doing this for many years, but I'm sure it never gets old putting a violin in a child's hands for the first time. What's that like?
It's magical to see all of the kind of work behind the scenes that I do in New York, and then, you know, talking to the principals and working with the music and arts supervisor at Carrie Gates here in Roanoke. There's a lot of stuff that goes on in the spring before with the application and making sure the commitment's there. And so finally, after we buy the instruments and they're delivered and they're all here, when I can come and visit and see that little kid with a violin or a trumpet, and see how excited they are and how much they own it and are proud that they play the violin or the trumpet or the saxophone, it's what makes it all worth it.
And you spent some time here at Grandin Court, saw them perform, the students. What did you think? I was struck how knowledgeable they seemed of their instruments.
Yes, well, it comes down, they were phenomenal. They were mature, they were standing with good posture, proper hand position, they were pressing down on the tape and had the right finger position so everything was in tune, and all of that comes down to a phenomenal music teacher setting up those fundamental skills from the very beginning. And you can tell that these kids are doing what they're doing because of the music teacher they have in Jeff Midkiff here. So it's just so cool to see it and to know that all the parts came together and now these kids have that opportunity.
And talk about how, because I was in the marching band when I was in high school, and I just remember that was the first time I ever got on a plane. You met really cool people, you learned a lot. It really truly opened doors. And is that sort of the point here? A lot of what they're learning now will stay with them the rest of their lives.
It's true. I mean, we say, you know, it would be great if every child that picks up an instrument becomes the next, you know, Alicia Keys or the next Wynton Marsalis. And you know what? Because we're giving this opportunity, they may be. But even if they're not, music instills so many qualities and so many skills, interpersonal, academic. I mean, there's so many out there where they become better people. They want to come to school. They're excited to be there for something. There's a study right out of Nashville right now that shows, it's a research study that they compared students who had been studying music in the district compared to their non-music peers, and every single area was higher for kids who studied music, and attendance, SATs, grade point average, graduation rates. So it shows when they're invested in music, they're going to be successful.
And it sounds like there's a ripple effect all the way down.
Yes.
So, well, Jacqueline, I think I talk for many, the school system, the city of Roanoke, parents and students. We appreciate your money, obviously, but more importantly, we appreciate your support. So thank you for being here, and enjoy your rest of your stay in Roanoke.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll be right back.